I'm Maddy Martin, and I'm a communications major, and I'm a freshman.
I'm Collin Wallace. I'm a sports business major, and I'm a senior.
I'm Mallory Cadell. I'm a communications major and a marketing minor, and I'm a sophomore.
Today we will be providing an in-depth explanation of the social exchange theory. It is commonly used in our lives, as many new relationships are either created or avoided based on the aspects of this theory. The social exchange theory refers to the idea that people weigh the rewards and the cost of engaging in human interactions and relationships with other people. Our evaluations of whether or not a relationship should be entered are rooted in what we believe we will gain from interacting with them. Ideally, people seek to maximize the benefits and minimize the cost of entering that relationship. It is similar to the economic exchange theory, which states that we are more inclined to invest in stocks or make similar investments based on the promise of financial rewards from doing so. But while financial exchange tends to involve legal obligations, social exchange depends on trust or goodwill between
Our
people.
interest in this topic involved a desire to understand our own interactions with others. We believe that understanding this topic may be beneficial in communicating with other students, in group work, future employers, or future fellow employees, because the social exchange theory explores a person's motivation for the upkeep of interactions and relationships. Understanding someone's motivation to communicate will give one an edge in creating successful and productive communication, contributing to productive and successful
In the social
work.
exchange theory, humans outweigh benefits and costs, both tangible and intangible, while forming relationships. Benefits that are taken into account in the social exchange theory are rewards obtained from a relationship that the individual is involved in. Tangible benefits may include food, money, gifts, or physical intimacy, while intangible benefits may include affection, support, social status, fun, having someone to hang out with, or sharing your feelings of happiness or sadness. The cost represents the resources one has to contribute in order to maintain the relationship and represent negative consequences that individuals face for entering the relationship. The most common tangible costs are taken into account with every relationship, including purchasing gifts, food, lending money, and others. Intangible costs may include enduring discomfort, dedication, considerable time, and effort towards the relationship, doing something you don't want to do, or taking care of someone else's needs in the risk of neglecting yourself. People must also consider the opportunities lost as a result of investing in one's relationship instead of another.
This theory implies that people expect as much from a relationship as they contribute to it, if not more. In other words, the reward should be proportional to the cost. In general, people will be drawn to relationships that result in the greatest rewards, long-term benefits, and positive outcomes, while also possessing the fewest costs, lowest amount of consequences, and lowest amount of social disapproval. Positive relationships are those where the rewards outweigh the cost, and such relations are likely to have a good future. Negative relationships represent a scenario where a relationship does not give the desired benefits, despite one putting up with the risks or cost. People are likely to discontinue such relationships. The social exchange theory also considers other factors, such as how much one is dependent on a relationship and the presence of trust, which decreases the threat of exploitation. Trust also allows individuals to be less calculative and see longer-term outcomes. This leads them to expect fairness and justice in the long term instead of demanding it immediately.
There are a few assumptions associated with this theory. The first is that humans and their relationships are based on well-calculated decisions, and as a result tend to think through things before they act. The next assumption is that everyone wants to receive benefits because it makes them feel successful. This goes hand in hand with the assumption that people try to avoid as many risks as possible. Also, if two situations require the same cost, people usually choose the one that they believe will yield the best result. On the flip side, if two situations present the same benefits, then people will be more inclined to choose the one requiring less effort. Another assumption is that people tend to act because they expect rewards, but not everyone's degree of rewards has the same satisfaction. The two primary criticisms surrounding the social exchange theory are that it provides a means of selfishness and that it is based on the assumption that people only act individually and ignore group decisions.
There are a few things to remember about how benefits and costs operate in relationships. First off, any given benefit may hold different value to different people and may even be considered a cost to another person. For example, even if one individual in a romantic relationship wants to have a hiking date because they think it will be fun, their partner may see it as tiring, undesirable, and would therefore count hiking as a cost. In addition, the rewards that a relationship offers should not be weighed against the cost based on quality. In other words, if a certain benefit is extremely important to a person, this one benefit may be capable of overpowering several costs in the relationship. Another important characteristic related to benefits and cost is that they are capable of changing over time, so members of a relationship must weigh both potential short-term and long-term outcomes. Lastly, the variety of benefits and costs a person desires may change depending on the type of relationship someone is seeking. For instance, what someone finds rewarding in a romantic relationship may not be what they look for a friendship or professional relationship.
Oh, there's Collin. I don't know. Collin's my best friend, and I want to sit with him, but he's sleeping. He's not going to pay attention in class. That's not going to help me any. She's got her planner out. She's taking notes. I think it might be better if I sat with her, for my sake at least. I'm going to choose my seat for the semester. I arrive in class and see that I have two options. My first option is to sit beside my good friend Collin, who has a track record of falling asleep in class and turning in assignments late and not studying for tests. He takes a lazy approach to academics, and his grades suffer as a result. My second option is to sit with a stranger, Mallory, that I can tell is serious about her academics. I've heard that she always turns in thorough and complete assignments, asks questions in class, and engages in classroom discussion. It is obvious that Mallory is driven to achieve her goals and wants to maximize her educational
The
opportunities.
social exchange theory would suggest that Maddy will sit with Mallory, who takes her academics seriously, because the benefits of entering this relationship in the classroom would exceed those that a relationship with my character would offer. This will allow her to reap the rewards of being able to ask Mallory questions, acquire effective studying methods, and engage in meaningful educational discussions. The only true cost of entering this relationship would be that she would have to give up the opportunity to sit beside her friend during class. Even though it may be tempting to sit with her friend in the scenario, my character, the only true benefit of doing so would be that Maddy would be able to gain social interaction with my character in the class. When looking at it from an educational standpoint, however, our relationship would likely not advance beyond the friendly level, which would offer less benefits to Maddy.
Research on the social exchange theory is significant to the communication discipline for a number of reasons. Communications research is a topic that can often be confusing because of the complexity of human interactions. The social exchange theory addresses the complexity by simplifying the idea of human interaction to a simple balance of cost and rewards. Simplifying the idea of communications research will advance the research of communications field of study by giving other researchers a starting point from which to delve into the complexities of human
Various
communication.
studies have been done over the years to examine multiple aspects of the social exchange theory. One study done by researchers is called a social exchange theory framework for understanding the job characteristics, job outcomes, relationships. Its primary purpose is to provide a better understanding of how and when job characteristics interact to influence job outcomes. This was done through a survey of 334 Chinese healthcare professionals working in public hospitals, and all questions use a 5-point scale, with 1 indicating strong disagreement and 5 indicating strong agreement. The first section asked respondents about their evaluations of the job requirements of working fast, hard, and long hours, whether they work under time pressure, and whether they have a high amount of work to complete, and whether this amount of work is
The second section measured the respondents' job satisfaction, asking if their job is interesting, if they are satisfied with their job, and if they feel a strong sense of personal satisfaction when they do their job well. The final section measured organizational commitment, asking these healthcare professionals if they'd be happy to spend the rest of their career with that organization, if they feel that the organization's problems are their own, and if they feel a strong sense of belonging to that organization. Once the results were compiled, it was concluded that job characteristics interacted to influence both job satisfaction and organizational commitment through psychological contract fulfillment. Therefore, the social exchange theory suggests that employees are more satisfied with their jobs and employers when they receive the benefits that they were expecting to receive upon beginning work.
Overall, we chose to research the social exchange theory because it is interesting to understand how someone's actions can be influenced by a reward and seeing what people are willing to give up to obtain something else. Our topic is important to survey research because everyone's level of costs and benefits are different. What one person might give up, another might see as pointless. The social exchange theory is also one of the few ways we can study communication. We believe that learning more about the social exchange theory could impact our field of study. We can learn and understand how to get others motivated, which could benefit inside and outside of the classroom. Also, for communications majors, this could help us realize why people do the things they do relating to goal setting and job perseverance. Also, two of us are studying in an area of business, and learning how to promote items through social exchange theory could be very, very beneficial as well.